Guys, how's it going? My name is Liza. Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to do a November wrap-up. So I read a total of 2 books in the month of November, and my numbers are really bad this year, unfortunately, but I still wanted to go through the books with you anyways. So the first book that I read is Little Moments of Love, and this is by Katana Comics. This is actually a web series that they turned into a book, and I had initially not planned on reading this because I was going to read some books for nonfiction November, but one of my friends ended up sending this to me in October, and I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. So this follows the story of a woman and her boyfriend. And in the beginning of the book, she has a little intro where she talks about how initially when she was writing the comics, she didn't want anybody to read them. They weren't originally made for the public. She had initially just written them as a fun little doodle project for her boyfriend. And her boyfriend ended up ultimately convincing her to put them on the internet and develop her own website, and that's how we ended up with these comics. So I've really been enjoying them. I've been switching between this and In Plain Sight, which you guys have seen in my vlogs, and so given the very depressing nature of In Plain Sight, I needed something to break up the darkness that I was going through while I was reading that book. So I ended up picking this up, and I don't regret it one bit. Ultimately, I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars, and I would highly recommend it. So the next book that I want to talk about, I picked this up. This is an Audible original, I believe, and my attraction to this book came because I work in a grocery store, and my job is very hectic, and it's been very busy because we're cycling around the holidays, so Thanksgiving is absolutely crazy, and then we're also dealing with Christmas coming up. So I thought that reading this book would help me de-stress and come up with some ideas on how I can separate my work regular life a little bit better. And that book is How to Decrease Burnout and Increase Joy. This was about 40 minutes long, I think, and it's by Bruce Daisley. It ended up being surprisingly good. I didn't have a lot of high hopes for it. It was very condensed, and it had a lot of information in it, which I liked, so I didn't feel like I was wasting my time on a book that was just long-winded just for the sake of being long-winded. I actually felt that a lot of the tips were really helpful, and I think that I'm going to try and utilize them in my own life. Like, I think one of them was to separate your work email from your regular life on the weekends and just make your weekends about you. And don't allow people to email you about work or talk to you about work during designated times, because when you start doing that, then you start having some boundary issues. So he says a lot of little things like that that just made a lot of sense. Another one that he said that I thought was really interesting and insightful was that bosses need to announce when they leave the office from their employees, and what that does is it just shows everybody, hey, I'm off work right now, I'm leaving right now, I'm leaving at my designated time, and I'm not gonna spend any more time overworking. So there were just a lot of little tidbits like that that I found really interesting and really helpful. I'll probably reread it in the future, actually, and I know that there's another one that's kind of in that family called 3 Ways to Stop Self-Sabotaging or something to that effect. But I really enjoyed it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it, and I ultimately ended up giving that one 4 stars. So that's pretty much it for my November wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!